are you today? And welcome back to the series Being a Montessori Parent. I'd like to start today's video by making a statement, and that is equal is not fair. I'd like you to give this statement a few seconds. Equal is not fair. A lot of you may be wondering, aren't they the same? Don't they mean the same? So my intention in this video is to bring that difference between equal and fairness. And learning this difference is very important in very many areas, in social settings, in various areas. But today what I'm talking about and I'm concerned about is how this impacts raising children. So let's try to understand the two words. So first word is equal. So we can kind of say equal is like a 1:1 ratio. That means the exact same despite differences. We're giving the exact same despite differences. Fairness, on the other hand, will consider the differences and give what is needed or appropriate for the child. This is a broad kind of a definition of equal and fairness. Now let's try to understand it with just the small diagram that I made. So here in this picture, you see a wall. On the other side of the wall, something is happening. And obviously you can see it only when you are taller than the wall. I have 3 children. This child is very short. This child is medium. And this child is very tall. I also have 3 boxes. So if I'm going to use the equal strategy, then I want to give each child 1 box. But I want to show you how this is not fair, because this child is already so tall, he could have seen on the other side of the wall even without a box. This child is doing fine. And this child with 1 box is still not able to see on the other side of the wall and so is very unhappy. So how equal is not fair? Now let's take the next scenario where I decide I don't want to give this child a box because he's tall enough. This child can be having his box because it's working fine for him. But I want to give this last child 2 boxes and now he can see on the other side of the wall and makes him happy. So you see how this is fairness, and fairness makes children happy. So this is what I mean when I say equal is not fair. So that's kind of a broad explanation of what is equal and fair, and this again will differ for different scenarios, but as I said, I'm talking about it based on children and raising children. So let's understand how this really kind of relates to children. So I've chosen one topic, which is boundary setting, and let's see how there's equal and fairness in boundary setting. So if I was to follow the equal method, then I would be making similar boundaries for all the children that I'm taking care of. Whether you're a parent or a teacher, all the children that are with me follow certain boundaries. That would be equal. But we are saying equal is not fair because these boundaries may be too tight for some children and too loose for the others. So then what is fair? You consider the likes, the dislikes, the capabilities and the skills that the child has and then set the boundaries. So these will be custom-made boundaries. When custom-made boundaries are made, you are helping the child naturally unfold his full potential. So there's a natural unfolding of the full potential with the boundaries that are custom made. This natural unfolding results in a happy child and also a harmonious relationship between the adult and the child. So we are saying fairness is going to create a happy child. I want to take this topic and also explain it from another point of view, which Stephen Covey has made in his book 7 Habits of Highly Effective People. Now here he has brought about a very good analogy between the emotional bank account and the regular bank account. So just like how you have two transactions in a regular bank account, you have the deposit and you have the withdrawal. When you put in money, it's the deposit. When you pull out money, it's the withdrawal. Now, in an emotional bank account, when you do things which enhance or enrich the child, you are making a deposit. When you are making the child feel low or removing energy from the child, we are calling it as a withdrawal. For example, being honest to your child may be a deposit, and not keeping your word could be a withdrawal. Please do not misunderstand giving what the child wants as a deposit or not giving as a withdrawal. We're not talking about that. We're still talking about you are going to do that based on the best interest of the child. But if you are sometimes saying no in the way that it has to be said, could also be a deposit for the child, because children understand the energy with which it comes and the intention with which it comes. So if we are talking about fairness, that is considering the likes, the dislikes and the capabilities and the skills, and then creating boundaries or doing whatever it is that you're doing, is fairness. And this fairness will be considered as a deposit in the emotional bank account. And equal, no matter what, it's the same. For example, the child who was given one box and who could not see on the other side, for him this is a withdrawal because he is not able to see and therefore he is unhappy. So just like in any other normal bank account where the deposits are more and the withdrawals are less, is a rich bank account. Similarly, our emotional bank account with our children become extremely rich when we have more deposits and less withdrawals. And considering every interaction, every time you're having an interaction, what would be a deposit for this child? A deposit for one child need not be a deposit for the other. That is what we need to consider and understand our children, observe them and see what would be considered a deposit for this child. Even the same parent will have to keep this in mind when she or he is dealing with two children, because their deposits are going to be different, their withdrawals are going to be different. But when you keep in mind, your emotional bank account becomes rich, and that results in a harmonious relationship between the adult and the child. The other very crucial benefit of being fair is it gives the child a feeling of worthiness. She cares about me. She knows I can't see through the wall, and so she's given me two boxes. That is feeling of worthiness. Then being understood. Oh, she understands I can't see through the wall. She understands that I'm not having fun. Being understood. And feeling of acceptance. Oh, she accepts that I'm okay with however tall I am, and she will give me what I need to feel as happy as somebody who's very tall. So these feelings, that is a feeling of worthiness, the being understood and feeling of acceptance, all these are going to empower the child. So as parents and as adults who are interacting with more than one child, it's very important for us to keep this statement in mind, that is, equal is not fair. And when you do this, you are enriching the child's environment, and so that the child can grow to his or her full potential. I really hope this video has set you thinking on this particular statement, that is, equal is not fair. And I hope it rings a bell the next time you're interacting with your children in any situation. So thank you for listening, and if you haven't pressed the subscribe button, now is the time to do so, to be notified of the new videos that keep coming up in this series. And also, if you want to know more about Formative Age, please do visit www.formativeage.in. So until we meet again, goodbye.